A Worldview from London with Adam Gilchrist.
The world is very busy at the moment. The world is never not busy, but there are pockets of news and events that just keep on going while we're dealing with other things as well. The Russian Ukraine war. There was a Russian execution, mercenaries appearing to kill a Ukrainian deserter. This very distressing news coming out of that.
Yes, this video emerged, which basically shows the Russian Wagner mercenary group executing a Russian soldier, a guy called Dmitry Yakushenko. He's named by them in this video, basically put to death with a sledgehammer, blow by blow. They have since said that they actually were making this up, that this is a sense of humor video. It is entirely possible in military circles to have that kind of sense of humor. You know, when you are knee deep in mud and blood and fighting the kind of battle that you're fighting, senses of humor can be a little warped. We all know that. And you would forgive any soldier for having that sense of humor, but it's not terribly funny to put out an execution video, real or not. And at this stage, we're wondering, is it real? But the point about the Wagners is that they have absolutely taken over control almost of the Russian offensive. And given that Russia is inching bit by bit to take over the city of Bakhmut and beyond, the Wagner group, which is recruited from Russian prisons, doesn't really care about anyone's background, doesn't really care about the ethics of war. I mean, the Geneva Conventions is probably the first thing they tear up in training. They've been active in Ukraine, Syria, and some parts of Africa. They appear to have Vladimir Putin's ear. And you wonder, will any of them ever end up in court for the brutality that they've meted out? Even if this video does turn out to be false, I mean, the kind of stuff that has been carried out by these mercenaries is just hair curling, frankly.
I know that in Africa over the last 18 to 24 months, issues of undemocratic plots to overturn governments, but now in Moldova, talks of a coup plot. There's been concerns from that country's president.
Yes, Moldova is this little country that is wedged right in there between Ukraine and Romania. It is officially Europe's poorest country, and therefore it is prone, shall we say. It relies heavily on Russian gas for energy. It already has a breakaway region, which we've mentioned before, I think Transnistria, this area that is kind of claimed by pro-Russian supporters and yet is really still a part of Moldova. It's a weird part of the world, a little place, but again, right next to the Black Sea, so geographically important. Now, Moldova's president, Maya Sandu, she's just nominated a new prime minister. She is very pro-EU. She's accusing the opposition of arranging protests of, as it were, being encouraged by foreign saboteurs to overthrow her government. She's just nominated a new prime minister who is also pro-EU. And President Sandu suggests that this is taking shape. This is not just words in parliament. This is action that they're taking behind the scenes to overthrow her democracy. You can see why she'd be a little anxious given all the geophysics that come into play with Moldova's position in Europe. Her words endorse the EU and NATO view as well, that Vladimir Putin doesn't just want bits of Ukraine. I've heard people suggest this. He just wants Russian parts of Ukraine. Or does he want an old style Cold War Russian empire, would be the take from a lot of people, including Moldova's president.
And then finally, I say us, as if I am an artist, but the artists often get panned by the critics. This time, a critic getting bedpanned by a German artist. A ballet director takes action against some critique from a reviewer.
Yes, a German ballet director by the name of Marco Gurka and a journalist by the name of Wiebke Huster. And they've had a little contretemps, shall we say, in a foyer in a big theatre complex. Essentially, Wiebke Huster wrote about one of his ballets that it was like being alternatively driven mad and killed by boredom. Now, Marco Gurka decided to take exception to this, and he always carries around with him his pet dog, which is very ballet director somehow, isn't it? Anyway, he came across Wiebke Huster and instantly took out a bag of excrement and smeared it on her face. I know, the classic smear campaign. And you're thinking, okay, future productions could include Pong Lake, the Muckraker Suite, and maybe Dance of the Sugar Dung Fairy. But I put it to you that given in our pooper scooper age, how many people are walking around with bags of excrement, everyone's a critic. This won't be a one-off. This will happen again, I'm sure of it.
I hear that in ballet, there's now first position, second position, and now third position.
Oh, yes. Thank you. Nice
Adam Gilchrist join you again tomorrow for the Worldview.